All right.
Sir,
We'll keep the time on.
okay. 3 minutes or 2?
Oh. I got something out in the truck real quick.
You got a comment form? Comment form, you fill one out?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir.
Good job.
What's we on play? Okay. Send it to her. Yeah.
Next week, so.
Ask her about it. Gotta talk about it anyway.
Yeah.
One moment. Okay,
Bring this meeting of Ocean Highway Board Authority together at 6 P.M. on October 11th, 2023. Please stand for the invocation and pledge. Commissioner Cole.
Heavenly Father, Lord, we do thank you for this day. We thank you for our many blessings. We thank you for this great country that we live in. We pray now for the war, the people and victims of the wars going on in Europe and the East, Middle East, Lord. We just pray, Lord, that you would comfort the victims there. We pray for our first responders and our servicemen and women. We pray for our leaders globally and nationally and locally. We just pray that all of them would give the wisdom that they deserve. And Lord, we just pray now that you would meet with us and give us the wisdom and discernment we need to conduct the business of this county. And we ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Join the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic and one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Commissioner Cole,
Here.
Commissioner Nelson,
Here.
Commissioner Taylor,
Here.
Vice Chairwoman Hill,
Here.
Chairman Fullwood.
President. I'd like to welcome all of you out tonight. Thank you for coming in. And we have some comments from the audience. I'll start with Chip Ross.
Good evening. Dave. My name is Chip Ross. I live in Cedar City. Yeah. I live at 210 North Third Street, Virginia Beach, Florida. You all know. I'm here representing myself and that individual else. First of all, the group that you chose to be your possibly be your agents in the sale of your land is next choice. If you were going to sell the land, which we'll talk in a minute. First of all, you all ran as fiscal conservatives, every one of you. And you ran advocating open and transparent government. And now 4 of you are going to sell or have talked about selling the only capital asset that is forecasts. There's no plan as to what to do with the money. Selling the property to get some money. No idea what you're going to do with it. There's not one word discussion as to what to do with that money in any reasonable way. There's no capital plan. So I perceive, and I think the public perceives, that this board is putting long-term improvements for their short-term political gain to say that we did something for some reason. So I urge you to commit to not selling any property or any capital assets until you have a plan as to what exactly you want to do with the capital asset. Because it makes no sense to me to just sell it for the reason of selling it and have no reason to do with money. And selling a capital asset from ongoing operation expenses is not being a fiscal conservative. Number 2, transparency. You all run on transparency. There's the public records law. You bought a tugboat. You bought a tugboat with federal dollars, taxpayer dollars, and you own a tugboat. And yet, when there's a document that's got to do with the tugboat, And this goes back to a previous case that we all well know about. And currently, there's a white paper that is public record request. What comes out is marked confidential. Why? What are you hiding? I mean, there's transparency in government, and there should be nothing with this tugboat that shouldn't be transparent in a public document and provided within 48 hours of somebody making a request. Thank you.
Sir, Catherine Fair.
Catherine Thayer, 432 North Third Street. I'm concerned about the agenda item tonight for you to consider moving forward with the Cabana Lane proposal to sell the lots. On September 13th meeting, when we discussed moving forward with the RFP, there was no consensus, no majority vote on what lots to sell, what to do with the inventory. There appears to be no plan to do that. And yet, tonight, you add to your agenda a decision to move forward. Oh, wow. We had the council from Mr. Kachowski at the last meeting that said it's okay to go ahead. The board can consider and approve each and every item that comes forward as a result of this real estate transaction. But in fact, the bank is proposing to invest their own money wisely, I am sure, and to protect their profit, I'm sure, but they are spending their money to develop this property for sale and development. And where will we be, where will you be when they come back and say, we've spent this, and you say, well, we decided not to sell? You'll be further pressured. You won't have the money to repay. We don't have any money now. So I encourage you to be thoughtful, to be deliberate, to have some integrity in these actions. Going forward makes no sense. We don't know what we're doing, what we're going forward for, and with what. And my concern is it's bigger liability, bigger disillusionment, and not to the future good of the port or this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for September 13th, 25th. Would you like to take them together or separate? All right, September 13th first. Motion to approve and seconded for the September 13th monthly meeting of minutes. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried. September 25th.
Chairman, I would like to request additional time to review the minutes. I have the opportunity to consult with Patrick about some of the very specifics that are discussed in the review.
How much time do you need?
Are we holding our second meeting this month?
Yes.
Okay, so we can just review those for the next meeting.
Yeah, I guess we could.
So I would like to do a motion if we need one, to
No, we just skip it.
skip those two.
We can do that. All right. All right, consent items, text system, audio visual for meetings.
So the board gave me consent to buy audio system, and during my search, I limited myself to less than 300, but since then, suggestions for a better system was given to me, and it's 800 now. So, but it doesn't stop there. You just can't buy microphones without speakers and all kinds of stuff. So the estimated cost is 1,800. For the audio microphones and speakers. And I don't know if you guys want to get the 2-year warranty on that, on those systems. But that's another, the 1,800 does not include the warranty.
Here, I think we need to move forward with that. We have some people that have called me, about trying to watch it and listen to it. They can't make out things, so, there's some frustration there, so I think it was good even for the people to come here to these meetings to be able to hear what people are saying and understand what they're saying, not only for us, but for the gallery.
That's a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion seconded, made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
All
right.
Chairman, just to go back, because we don't normally frequently do these consent items, do we need more specificity to approve the expenditures?
Actually, when you have a consent agenda, all that information should be set out to you ahead of time. That's why it's a consent agenda, so you don't have to delve into everything under the consent agenda. You could just approve it or take something out to talk about it. So that's the way it should work.
I thought it was attached.
Yeah, I don't know whether this is included or not.
I'm sorry, it was not included in the packet, because I found out
Okay.
the price after.
That's where you can do that and put it under consent agenda, just
Okay.
have it as an item.
But how about this, before I order or pay for anything, I will, email everybody?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the expenditure not to exceed, say, $1,000.
That a motion
Yep, that's a motion.
Second.
and a second to approve not more than $2,000 for the audio equipment. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. All right, so we got the money.
Okay, thank you.
I don't want to go ahead and delve into this. By now, you've all heard from Patrick and seen the letter from David's attorney, who is here tonight, regarding the employment agreement issue. I have talked with Patrick, reread the employment agreement, and read the letter from his attorney. As chairman, I believe we have not handled this well, and it has led to confusion and possible litigation, which is the last thing this board needs, is litigation. The language of the agreement is clear, and we need to follow it. It is my opinion, when we voted on October 3rd to non-renew David's contract, it was too late. The contract had already automatically renewed. In my mind, we have two options: honor the contract renewal for 2023 and 24, or give David the proper notice that he is being terminated and will be given 16 weeks of severance. But first, I am making a motion to rescind the previous board action taken on October 3rd that attempted to give David notice that his contract was not being renewed. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to rescind the previous board action taken on October 3rd. Any discussion?
So what's the rationale for rescinding the notice not to renew?
Because we didn't do it properly. And we're under contract and we violated his contract.
Well,
You read the attorney letter.
so just to like restate what we stated before, on June 14th, we asked at a public meeting, I asked, when I highlighted the board, that the contract said in auto renew, if we did not give notice, 60 days in advance. And no one seemed to care or be concerned about that clause until I raised it. And then when we all looked around, we said, we don't want it to auto renew, we got to cut our budget. And David looked right at you and me, Chairman, and he said, I'm not worried about it. And I looked at you and I said, so we're good. And we acted in the way that we often do act in this board by getting consensus, which we've been advised is not the proper way of acting efficiently. And so moving forward, we should act in consensus and we should vote. Have official vote. So we did that on the 14th. And then again, on the 27th, budget workshop, and both of those discussions are in minutes. And in both instances, it says in the minutes that David did acknowledge that his contract did not honor the. And so now we have a letter where he says he's confused, that he thinks his contract did honor, and that he thinks he deserves the 60 days and 16 weeks that he states is required by Florida law. But it's not required by Florida law. That's the maximum Florida law. And I believe he gave notice, I believe he heard notice, I believe he acknowledged notice. And I think it is in bad faith that he is presenting this claim at this time, that he waited intentionally for his contract to quote renew, despite multiple public discussions on the topic. I would not support the motion.
As I told you, verbal speaking at a meeting to do that is not the proper way to do it. The contract says written notice. We did not provide him with written notice. Therefore, we have violated the contract if we fire him or let him go.
But Chairman, if he advises us verbally in the past meeting, that faith that he accepts our notice.
I don't think he did that.
So, Mr. Chairman, just, it doesn't happen again, because I watched this part of the meeting today, actually, and it's around 55 minute mark. There's a discussion, Commissioner Hill, brings up the auto renew clause, and then it goes and even confirms that, okay, we need 60 days notice, just to confirm this 60 days notice. And Mr. Chairman, you said, yeah, let's move on. And then we moved on at that point. So who would have been responsible for this written notice? Would that have been something for the chairman? Would that have been something that, and I know Patrick was there at the meeting, if that's even written. I know David would have written his own. I mean, he would have written his own notice.
Patrick, you want to speak to that?
Sure, so I'm just gonna, first I'm gonna qualify what I'm gonna say, because we do have a letter from David's attorney. I think threatening probably too strong a word, but indicating that they may seek recourse through litigation. So I want to be careful how much I say. You all are welcome to discuss however much you wish. If I was not at that meeting in June, if I had been contacted the next day by the chairman, yourself, Rosanna, anybody else, to provide David written notice of non-renewal, I would have asked the board to vote on that. I would have been told no. And I would not have written a notice without the board votes approval.
Well, the minutes were attached to the next meeting agenda.
I mean,
Okay.
I would not have written notice without the board taking a vote to direct me to do so. Discussion is fine, consensus is fine, but taking action on a contract that binds this board in a number of different ways, I would have stated probably to the chairman, you need to bring this up again and you need to vote. So that's my sort of crooked way of answering your question.
Did you read the agenda for the next meeting when we approved the minutes for that item was included in the minutes? Okay, and so you didn't think that was,
It's no vote taken by the board.
and so that wouldn't be an issue with flag for us.
That it was a discussion. I was never asked to provide notice. It wasn't.
I believe like I did, that you read that and you didn't think it was a problem because David actually acknowledged.
No,
I just want to.
I read it, well, I appreciate you thinking, you know what I thought. I read it and thought the board did not take action. The board discussed this matter. That's what I thought.
So you wouldn't remind the board that that's not action? I mean, the minutes
I was
say,
not asked to provide the notice. I was not asked to do anything about it.
because he said okay, and it's in the minutes that he acknowledged.
Okay.
I mean, I'm at a loss.
I'm at a loss as well, Commissioner Hill. The board didn't take action on the contract. If you all had said, provide notice that we are renewing the contract, I would ask this question, did you vote on that? No, we can't do the consensus. A consensus to exercise options over your contract is not sufficient. We need a vote. I need clear direction from the board to take action. Just like any other thing that you all ask me to do that binds the board in that manner. I would ask for a vote.
So were you at the June 27th meeting?
Yes.
Okay, and it also came up at that,
In a discussion, yes.
and so you didn't think it would be good to comment at that time to say that in order to take action, you need to vote?
Being asked to take any action.
Problem is, if we don't rescind this, we're in a lawsuit. We can figure out what to do after this is rescinded. Whether to give him notice and provide those terms, or keep him on to next year. Which we have the money to pay him for that. So that's where we are, and, you know, it's either that or get into a lawsuit, and if you think we got the money to pay for another lawsuit, I don't know where you find it. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I think we need to make this right. Again, we can sit here and go back and work on this day after day. Something gets slipped through the crack. People make mistakes, people misunderstand what others' intentions might be. And I think in this case, that as this board and to do the right thing, we need to make the contract with David. I think we need to give him the weeks that he's got coming to him and be done with this and move forward. I don't think that we need to retain him for 23, 24. I think we need to give him what we owe him. Let's be done with this. That's my opinion.
Any other discussion?
Yes, I have a question for you. Yeah. Judge, could the severance be part of, come through the ARPA funding? Is that considered salary?
So we pay as part of the payroll system. Pay on payroll system. So.
Could you please be done?
So if we pay, so the severance is the payroll system. As an employee, yes, that would be part of our, should be reimbursable.
Any other discussion?
So did you say the motion, Chairman, please?
The motion is to rescind the previous board action taken on October 3rd that attempted to give David notice that his contract is not being renewed. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Hold on.
Just ask one question, so it's just to rescind
The action we took.
the action, it's not to take any other action.
No,
Correct.
And this is based on your advice, we have to rescind that motion in order to come to a settlement agreement with David for 16 weeks.
So you have approved board action to provide. Mr. Kaufman with notice of not the rule of chairman's motion is to rescind that board action. That's my understanding, that's all that's in.
But we have already paid some of those funds out in salary.
I don't have anything to do with that. You're asking me what his motion is, the effect of his motion is to rescind the previous action of the board, directing the notice of non-renewal provided.
So basically, it never happened. So if we take the percentage, it's as if it never happened.
that's correct.
Why would we do that? I don't understand why that would be legally advisable.
Because we did it illegal. It wasn't right to do it that way. It's a violation of the contract. That's what we've been talking about.
Procedurally, this is the proper way to rescind previous action taken and approved by the board. What that means that you have to do next is up to you all, and I can, as that discussion happens, I can decide. The motion is to rescind previous board action.
So why wouldn't we determine what our plan is first before we rescind?
Because we can't do that. This is a motion to rescind the action we took. No further discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
No,
Motion carries. All right. Now we can move on from that. And
Mr. Chairman, what was that vote? Was it 4-1?
Yes.
4-1.
We could barely hear you guys.
Well,
That's why I said.
we're working on that.
If you want to just keep this out there, and I'll see that it'll be here.
Yeah,
Thank
we might want to bring it up, bring one of them up here. We got it here.
Yes,
Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah. I mean, so the next step then, I mean, as far as being concerned, and we'll go back to look at that. I mean, is employment time with us, is that something we need to, now, is there gonna be a negotiation with them, or it's
That's up to the board.
to now, you can
know what the board wants.
to now.
We have two options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have those two options.
So we can give them notice
Mhm.
and then move forward. And the contract that.
Patrick, you want to explain what our two options are?
So presuming that the contract auto renewed on September 30th or October 1st, for sake of discussion, presuming that, presuming the notice of intent to not renew was not provided, the contract automatically renewed for another year.
Right.
So you can either accept that and have the contract served out the remainder of this renewal period until the next one is triggered next summer or late summer, or you can exercise your rights under section 6 of the employment agreement, would be to provide 60 days notice of termination. Then comes with 16 weeks of severance. That language is in the contract under termination, not under automatic renewal or non-renewal.
All right, we're clear. I'm going to move on.
We only have two options.
So at this point, someone who's worked on this path should make something of it.
I make a motion that we, move forward with the written notification that we should have. And then that is also subject to the,
Also, I mentioned.
So just so I'm clear, you're talking about written notice of termination under section 6 of the contract, which requires 60 days notice and 16 weeks of severance.
right.
All right, motion been made and seconded to require termination under section 5, 6 of the contract. Which, gives them 30 days, 60 days, well,
60 days notice.
60 days and 16 weeks of severance. Correct. Any discussion?
Could you just remind us, the terms of section 6?
You want me to read the paragraph?
Yes.
Everybody's agreeing.
Is either terminate the agreement by providing 60 days notice. Reservation language. There's terminated the clause language, which we're not exercising that I heard. So to choose to terminate employee without cause, employee shall be entitled to 16 weeks of compensation as provided by the board of law.
Any further discussion?
You made a motion, Commissioner Nelson, to provide 60 days notice and then also to pay whatever severance. So were you making a motion to provide notice today?
16,
Or, yes, you know,
16 weeks, 16 weeks, that's contract. We're legal in doing that. And that's the reason I make the motion.
okay, and so it would be 60 days from today and then an additional 16 weeks on top of that.
Mhm.
And then what is your idea of what he would do in the interim? Would he be on administrative leave or?
I think it should work.
We could utilize him to make this transition, give us a little bit more time to make a transition. We got to pay for it anyway, so we might as well utilize.
Absolutely.
And I just wanted to reread that the cause is for personal dishonesty, incompetence, willful misconduct, gross negligence, any breach of fiduciary duty, intentional failure to perform stated duties, local violation of law, rule, or regulation, or material breach of any provision of this agreement. So it doesn't include failure to meet the stated objectives of the role, which we communicated throughout his tenure, which weren't met. So it doesn't include that.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
No.
No,
So 3-2.
I don't want to see him gone. I didn't want to see him gone to begin with.
Well, I understand that. Okay, you're saying no on the motion, and you guys voted what?
Yeah, 3-2 and approved.
No,
So yeah, I'll vote yes, you can't do that. Wow. I'd like to make a point of order.
But we need to hold the commission.
all right, call roll.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor,
Yes.
Vice Chairwoman Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
No,
Chairman Fullwood.
No. All right, motion carries. So, Patrick, direct you to take the proper steps for notification. And whatever you need to do. Okay? All right. Okay. Board Attorney report.
Thank you, Chairman. You all have the report in front of you. I will mention that the chairman and I met virtually with Spokesman Savage to discuss a number of items, including ongoing litigation. So I'm happy to discuss that with you one-on-one. Everything else in the report is pretty self-explanatory and I can answer any questions.
Any questions, Patrick? All right,
thank you.
Board of Accounts report. Here.
So you have a monthly treasurer's report in your package. Nothing unusual. Obviously, this is September 30th, so this is the end of the fiscal year. We're busy preparing and expecting the auditors, the first week of November. So we're busy preparing the 2022-23 financial books for them. Obviously, next month will be the new budget, which you're going to approve later on in the agenda. So, just like I said, this is the end of this was the last quarter of this year. So, and obviously we continue, we're submitting right now, we're preparing the reimbursement. So every 3 months we submit the wage reimbursements, the office reimbursements continue. And just one other item that's not on the agenda, so we've heard back from, as you know, FDOT, we have been auditing our grant process and our payments and things like that. And that all got started probably 6 to 8 months ago. Not real fast, I thought. So, and they issued their report, and so there are no findings, no issues with our grant programs or anything like that, or what we pay or anything like that. The one issue that they did have is that we don't have any written procedures. They found no items of any issues as far as what we paid on the grant or anything like that. But, and obviously our process was good, the way we do it, we don't have any of it written down. As I said, we kind of just do it as that's the way we've always done it. So they requested that as a corrective measure that we write that down. So we're supposed to meet with FDOT to get some policies and procedures, hopefully from some other ports that we could turn into our own. So we're looking for that process. We'll go back to the FDOT auditors with our response that obviously we're going to put the procedures in place. And that needs to be done. So I'll come back with the full report and all that next month. But again, that audit is essentially the draft report is concluded, and we're preparing our response to it. So
Good.
the motion, yeah,
Excellent, thank you.
yeah.
Any questions for Pierre?
I would like to just make a comment, Chairman. if that's okay. This issue has been going on for a long time, with the tugboat since we originally acquired it. So thank you very much.
All right. No questions for Pierre?
Thank you.
Later on in the agenda, it's obviously the new budgets.
Yeah.
So the, no,
But not there.
no, not right now. It's not Marion. This is an holiday.
Okay.
All right, Ford operator report, Matt, are you gonna do that?
Yeah.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I can,
Thanks for having me. Appreciate your time. Better month, September was a better month than August. More in line with our June and July tonnages. We had 5 vessel port calls during September, handling nearly 20,000 tons of break bulk and over 500 containers. We continue to see positive throughput of the KLV for exports, and we expect that to trend the remainder of the year. We should expect similar volumes in October or September as September. And just a general note, during the month, myself and our GM Kyle Clark, we performed sales calls in Atlanta, and we attended the Break Bulk Conference in Houston, Texas. Any questions?
any questions for Matt?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Looking over the report real quick. Question up in the water. And we're expecting an uplift next month.
Similar,
Similar.
we're right now 4 to 6 ships estimated.
Okay. Very good.
Can you tell us, if the tug, like what's going to happen with tug operations and how that's impacting?
Last I heard, the tug is scheduled to go. It didn't go already. I don't have the exact date on that, but it is in the process of getting on the schedule, if not already. We've had a few vessels since we've had to lay it up. The only feedback I've received was from one customer, the gentleman that was here at the last meeting. So we're working through that, scheduling a trip to meet face to face with our customer. And then the last feedback we had was actually very positive with a pulp ship we discharged this week. Didn't bring up the tug, but just talked about how well the team performed and how quickly we were able to turn that vessel.
So does the customer have the opportunity to select the tug, or are we selecting the tug?
The opportunity is up to the vessel, so they'll go to their vessel agents and they'll source those tugs from Jacksonville, Savannah. You know, it's a little bit out of my purview. It's again, between the vessel and the agents.
Okay, because I know that the tug business is competitive, right? So some operators are charging more than others. And I think one of the complaints is just that they're having to pay some of the foreign fees for certain operators without Jacksonville, but that may not be the case for all operators.
I can't answer that question. Again, it's not something that we're actively engaged in between the market. We try to price the tug that's here competitively, saving the trip back and forth, but I do understand there are choices out there.
So that would be something that the customer would coordinate with the agent.
Typically, yes.
Yeah, the agent always calls for tugs, service in Jacksonville or wherever you can get the best rate for the customer.
Do we have a list of preferred providers?
I don't know. I can find out, but I do not know if we issued that.
Okay, but just the perspective that I've heard, and this might be inaccurate, is just that what is being offered is not market. And so we have to set, although this is something that is, ad hoc per ship, we are, under the charter, we're supposed to ensure that the tariff, the started the board are competitive. And so we're getting feedback, and if it's not competitive, then we have to, look at that and try to see if we can adjust or what action we can take to improve that.
So the feedback I've received since I started at Savage is more in line with having that second tug. It isn't the tug that's based either. That is priced competitively, simply because you're not having a mow when you mow on the home floor.
But you're talking about the Portland,
Yes,
right?
I don't know about the other.
Yeah, so I was talking more about the Jacksonville
Okay.
selection, the diversity of these charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's different size tugs, different size ships, high tide, slack tide, all that.
Ray, can you enlighten us on that?
Yeah, as it was stated in the last meeting, the concern was the mobilization. With our tug being out of service, the mobilization, not only one tug, but two. The tug operators know what it costs to run that tug per hour, and they know how long it takes to get up here. So they're figuring 8 hours up, 8 hours back, times whatever their operating cost is, that's why it went through the roof. There's only 3 tugs. Tugboats are not readily available. And sometimes you gotta really beg those people to fill the gaps in. You got Cross State, you got Moran, you got Palisade. That's it. You use them, you don't use anybody. But the situation is, if you don't plan ahead, then you get caught. And the agents are at the mercy of these, tugboat operators. This is what we're going to charge you. Where's your option? Really, you don't have one. So with that being said, we all remember the discussion with the pilot, Captain Studer, with Bobby Cook, the port captain. We had that discussion on the 25th. Mid-morning on the 26th, I get a call from the tug captain. He's been given a green light to take the boat to Jackson. But there's still documentation that has to be filled out. So following him, over the last couple of weeks, I got a phone call this morning, actually a text. He left at first light this morning, heading to Jacksonville. At 2:14, I get a text from him saying, we're in Jacksonville. So the tug is at the shipyard. There's a 2-week lead time on this, that once they get started, they figure that they can get it done in 2 weeks and get the tug back to us. So that's where we are with the tugboat. We've got to be real careful. Savage has got to be real careful with these 2 tug vessels, because that's where you're going to get your lunch ate. These tug operators, they know what they're doing. So we just got to plan ahead, let them know.
And there's always a chance, some ships can need 2 tugs. They still have to get on Jacksonville.
Absolutely.
So once we get out of that, it'll be a lot better.
And I worked with Brian Stewart 12 years, scheduling ships in and out. And I can attest to what he said. Safety will not be compromised. If they have to have 2 tugboats to get that ship safely docked, you can bet it's going to have 2 tugs on it, or it's not going to come in. So that's one good thing. We've got experienced pilots, and they work within that confine of safety.
Matt, is the tug operator or employee?
I can't answer, I don't know, I'm never about to ask that.
He is, yes. The tug crew is employed by Starting Back.
Okay, so when I was speaking with the builder, he had said that the vessel was under Savage's management, and the tug operator was your employee.
Okay.
So just as long as it's an issue, would you mind just monitoring and, providing updates as part of the report? Just because it's been raised.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Matt? Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Great job.
Thank you. We did speak, Patrick and I spoke with, what was his name, the new. Yeah.
Mr. Hale.
Hale,
Greg Hill.
from Savage, and he's based out there in Utah with them. And I asked him if he'd be coming over here to table at Butch's Place, and he said no. He said the people that are there, Matt and another one, another fellow, will take care of the operations and keep us informed of whatever. That's who we need to talk to if we have issues. But I don't think that'll be a problem. We have his phone number out there. If we need to call him anytime, he's available. Okay. All right, let's go to old business. Customs and Border Protection Facility. You want to?
Sure, Mr. Chairman, if I
Speak
may,
on that? Yes.
I did have a communication this morning with Director Bradshaw's office regarding having a meeting with Customs to talk about the direction for the Customs House. They provided me an availability either the morning of October 24th or October 25th. And I told them I'll raise that with you guys and see if you had a preference for one of those days. I would also indicate that on the afternoon of the 25th, the Estate Council will be having their meeting for allocating the security dollars that I referenced at a previous meeting. So we should know, hopefully by the close of that meeting, I don't know if they'll actually do the allocation and vote on that or not. I presume they probably will. So we may know as early as the afternoon of the 25th, we can award the $25,000 grant to allow us to go out and hire a architect to help us come up with a design plan and cost.
She's providing for the time on the 25th.
She just said the board meeting with the 24th and 25th.
Now, how are we going to do that meeting? Because if we
We all know inside the phone windows. And, you know, I don't know if you want to ask Director Bradshaw to come up here, or whether we want to go to her office in Jacksonville. We didn't talk about this.
I'm going to make a statement tonight. CBP is a federal law enforcement agency. And how they conduct themselves is they want to deal strictly with the people that they have issues. I talked to Harry about this. They would like to meet at their office. And I mean, because there's things that are going to be discussed that are security issues that do not need to be.
we're not going to do it in public.
Cannot be done. They will not do.
We know that, and we met with them before, right?
It's not. gonna
David and
happen.
I met with them before at that office, and we don't want to have a place big enough for the public. We private stuff. Some of the things they talk about shouldn't be out in public. They don't want it out in public.
No, it's can be.
So it will-
Cannot be.
We'll take care of that.
I did talk to Steve, as part of my committee report, that he is in Jacksonville for the end of the year for training. Okay, so that leaves you with Eric Blair at the port. So any contact we need to make can be with Eric at this point.
Yeah.
Steve, let's.
We got it covered. All right. So we just thought we're going to give us a meeting there, both.
They're looking for our preference, either the 24th or 25th.
It doesn't matter to me.
Who's going? Who do
David,
you want to do?
David and I. Okay, either day, it's fine.
Chairman,
Now, the 25th is
our second meeting.
but so we have to do it early.
Well, it has to be the morning to be one of those. Days.
Okay. Let me know. All right. Open code of ethics. Mary, I think that's yours.
Chairman, so I asked Christina to go ahead and add this for considering. I can project like so attached to the packet, you have a draft code of ethics and procedure document. Historically, we had referenced the 2015 resolution, which was the 2015 resolution was based on some of the dynamics of the board at the time and referenced actions of the board at that time. And so I felt it needed to be updated. So I incorporated into this both the procedures that were there previously, just trimmed them down a bit, and then included the reference to the state ethics policy. So I would propose, Chairman, that we table this for a vote until our next meeting, so that the board has a little bit more time to review it, maybe that time. And also, you know, for Patrick to take a look, because it was, I think, circulated Sunday.
Okay. We can delay it to the next meeting. Good.
Oh, and I did want to call out, so what we added is the 7-day notice for publication of our agenda, so that's specifically called out. And specifically called out the reference to the ethics code. And we considered at our last meeting, this issue came up, adding in a training requirement, so the annual training requirement. So if you think that we should call out certain things like that, feel free to propose those specific, the training requirement is included in the code that's applicable to state officers generally. So
Are you talking about the meetings we have at the City Hall, the ethics commission?
the training,
Yeah.
that's saying
We do that every year.
we do. And
Why don't we need to be in here? We're required to do it.
right, well, and it's, that would just be our preference, whether we want to include that. Some of the local districts do include that, calling that out, it's required of the commission, that open for consideration.
The only one I have a problem with, we won't discuss a lot of it, is E. I don't see the need for that, but we could talk about that next meeting.
What was the problem with you?
Why do we need to do that? I mean, if the senator or representative here, we're gonna recognize them. But I don't think we should see it here.
Okay,
Chairman, we couldn't hear you, sorry. There's the microphone right there.
Yeah, the recognition of officials, I don't think we need to do that. Are you talking about local public officials or just state representatives and people like that?
it was in the existing agenda, and I know that at times we do that, at times we didn't, so I left it for now, but if you don't think it should be added, if that's the board wants.
I mean, we can take that out. The chairman can always recognize state representatives, and senators and people like that. Okay. Right, any further discussion about that? Insurance coverage, FMIT proposal. Who got it?
So we asked FMIT to give us another quote without the port director's salary. So now, Pierre, we don't need that, right?
So obviously,
For workers' comp,
So we've left, so the policy is in existence with including the salaries that were, we just policy.
right?
Based on what we're actually tonight, we will amend the policy at some point, once it becomes final, tonight. The 60 days has been given, and therefore 60 days from now, we will submit for by we're waiting, obviously, FMIT couldn't take action until we knew exactly what the final date was, the date of deployment, if it was going to be final or not, so.
Okay. Any questions about that? All right, we'll get that done when we need to. We're going to talk about the budget resolution. You want to go ahead and call John, and get him on the phone? And we'll get back to him. Real estate listing is next, but John is going to come in on the phone, so we'll wait. We'll do the next thing, the budget resolution. Do we need to do that tonight? The budget resolution,
Yeah.
even though.
Well,
Be amended.
we're gonna have to amend it. We need obviously the fiscal year.
Yeah.
So we need to go ahead and pass this resolution, and we'll have to amend it based on.
Yeah.
And then
All right, I need a motion. Motion and a second to approve the budget resolution. Any discussion?
Please.
All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Mayor,
Mr. Chairman, if I might,
yes, sir.
as you know, we received a letter from Marad wanting another update. They had reviewed the white paper that was provided to them back in June or July, and came back with a number of questions and are asking for a response to that question by the close of this on the 13th. So I'll work with Matt over the next 2 days to make sure that we respond to their questions and then that response.
And that
Yeah.
deadline is October 13th.
October 13th.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, when we talked to Savage yesterday, we brought that there to, well, actually, they brought it to our attention. They are in the process of working things out and getting it taken care of. All right, you got it?
I have Mr. Hillman on the phone. You are on speaker.
Okay,
Welcome, John.
thank you. I've been watching you here on YouTube. It actually came through pretty clear.
Yes. All right, Patrick, you want to take this real estate listing agreement?
I'll just say that it's in front of you. I have reviewed it. I did provide some comments back to the litigation. But it's, there's a lot in here, so it's really more for your review and deliberation. There's some things in here that I don't know that we initially contemplated, but again, I'm putting it for you because you all need to see it, talk about it, pull things out that you don't like, or scale it down and broaden it, or it's off the top of my head, one of the concerns I had is a year-long agreement. The broker had a response to that, so I can encourage you to go through it. See that it memorializes what it is you want the broker to do, and also what it may require of this board, should a qualifying offer or frankly any offer come before you. I will remind you that what we discussed initially was to select this particular broker to approve negotiation of a listing agreement. There has been no approval to accept any offer, no approval to sell, no approval to impose deed restrictions or anything like that. All this in front of you is this particular listing agreement. And again, I thought it best that we put it in front of all of you for discussion, so that you're not taking some recommendation from me. I'm not the one that has this property. I'm not the one that makes decisions. So that's really where it is. I'm not to answer any questions, but I think there's a lot in here you all need to discuss and consider.
I'm gonna have purchase. Okay, exhibit A gives us the pricing of all the lots, and it tells us how he's gonna go about doing this, the pricing process. And it also includes the deed restriction, which is what we wanted in there. And I think that's what the community wanted in there, and so it is there, and we will hold them to that. Survey, they're gonna take care of the survey, and he, of course, will do house design and site plan that, you know, I don't think we're involved a lot of house design and planning. We just make sure those deed restrictions are there. And the community, so. Any questions about this? Anything you want to talk to John about? He's on the phone. If you need to ask a question, he's here. Pass that back.
Thank you, Chairman. Sorry, I'm still out there. So if we've learned anything over the last few weeks, it's the agreements and contract are, we followed every single letter in there and looking agreement. I just want to go on record again is stating that I know we're listing, we're looking in the agreements, 3 properties. I am not in support of 3, but I will, support selling 1 of the properties. And I think we're kind of at a point where, especially based on other contracts that we were discussing earlier, we really narrow this down to 1 property that we're looking at selling and see which one that is. I don't want to get, and I personally say, that I appreciate the detail, the effort, and everything you put into this. You were my top choice when looking at the RFPs that came through. And I really appreciate everything you put into it. Even things at A, just kind of break down and really the focus on the storage inspections. But again, I don't want to just skip all our assets here. I think we just look at just 1 property, determine which property that's going to be, and then move forward to listing agreement based on that.
Yeah.
Can I make a comment? Or somebody else got a comment?
Go ahead.
So definitely, so obviously, if you read this agreement carefully, there are, if you chose not to, so if you section 18 provides that you would have to pay if you rejected a full price offer as listed in writing. So you would still owe the broker. That's item 2. And the same thing, section 9, I'm sorry, 11, section 11 of the, there are, you would be responsible for paying any direct expenses incurred for marketing the product if you mutually decide to terminate this agreement. So certainly I would suggest that you make the changes to not accept those terms.
Comment?
We have our former executive director with identifying revenue for OPA. And along the way, and after exploring several unviable ideas, the idea was presented that OPA should evaluate this property. And so we agreed that we should determine what the highest and best use might be, and we issued an RFP for that purpose. But that RFP also solicited a proposed listing agreement. Without evaluating the potential uses of the land by OPA, the board is now considering selling 3 parcels which have been owned by this board for over a decade. Our charter requires that we use our powers to act in the best interest of the citizens of Napa County and the state of Florida. Currently, this land is entrusted to OPA for the benefit of the public. It serves as a buffer to the community. Any sale must include a plan and restrictions that demonstrate how this sale and its proceeds will benefit the county and the state. The chairman and Commissioner Cole have said multiple times that OPA intends to buy land near Crawford Diamond with the proceeds, but no commitment has been made to commit the proceeds for that purpose, and no plan has been identified or considered by Equity so that the board can weigh the relative benefits of the current parcels with the 5 new parcels. So I will not be voting in favor of this contract. I appreciate the comments of your name, and if you all do decide to move forward, I think you should take more time to consider, because if your purpose is purely to buy more land, at the last meeting, Commissioner Cole said that we couldn't use ARPA funds to buy property near Crawford Diamond, because that's not viable until the water gets done. So I don't understand what the hurry is to sell our land to just have cash.
Kevin?
Yes.
All right. I may have said, something in the meeting and what we might do with our property once it was sold, but it was never said that that was our intent or that is what we are going to do. We haven't decided that. Anything like that will be brought before the board, it will be voted on, and it will be decided then.
Chairman, I too, concur with what Commissioner Taylor said. All along, I said that, I would, elect to at least sell one piece. I've never been a proponent to sell all three. I don't think that would be a wise decision, but I think it would behoove us all to go through this contract after we just had to straighten out one. And make sure that we understand. If we don't understand, ask questions. Highlight it. Bring it back. Let's beat it up. Because we do have a responsibility. And if we shirk that responsibility, shame on us. So we need to be calm about this. We don't need to let our feelings get hurt. Let's look at it. Let's dissect it. If it's what we need to do, then we need to move forward with it. If you don't want to vote for it, don't vote for it. But we have a responsibility to make sure that the Port of Bernardino stays sustainable out into the future. And if we neglect our duties, I can assure you from what I'm seeing, it won't be.
Mr. Question, how will keeping this property sustainable?
If we sell one piece of this property, I can tell you because I was at that port. That port needs some attention. It needs some structural attention that the operators already said. No.
That wasn't, how will not selling properties sustain the port?
Once you sell it, it's gone forever. And I think that it's an asset. That property is an asset.
You said the port needs some things done.
It does, and that's why I said
Where are you gonna get the money?
I would agree to sell one piece of property. All right, you're already giving us a figure. I've seen several, but you're talking $800,000. That's the figure that was given to me. Now, if it's wrong, somebody please correct me.
But
But,
got a price up right there.
okay, but we have warehouses out there. It's gonna be in my report here in just a few minutes. I'm concerned about the roof on those buildings. That's not their responsibility. All they gotta do is come up with the first 15,000, the rest is laying out of it. So we gotta look down the road.
I'm not sure if we can use this money to do that. I think that's the operator's responsibility to keep the equipment on.
We need to get into that too, because I'm told they have a responsibility for the first 15,000 and the rest of it's in our pocket.
Right.
So if that's true, then
Then we'll need some money to,
that's my intention. That's what I'm saying. We don't have money trees that we can pull it off of. We're going to have to make it funds available.
I would agree to sell two pieces of property and keep one. And
Well, I'm just saying,
Give us enough
I mean,
money
we
to
have
do
a
that.
problem in some areas now that, I mean, the canopy, it's in my report for about the 10th week now, or the 9th month, that's a safety hazard. And I don't want to get off track, but I'm trying to give you an example why I say that I would agree to sell one because we got to fix certain things. With that canopy not being there, the rain gets on that cement. Those guys,
I'm
okay, I know what I'm saying, you know what I'm
That's
talking
something we'll have to look at, but one piece of property is not gonna fix all the things we need to fix, or you can keep this for the future. We'd have to go back and sell another piece later.
Well, depending on who you got running the show, I think we can get a lot done for $500,000 out there. We can at least get the two warehouses back in good shape. Because if we don't, that is going to be looking at claims on cargo with water gauge.
There's not one piece of property on here that's listed at $500,000.
So, I'll explain for a comment because I think enough has been said to propel us into investigating it and really digging in and finding out, is it beneficial? Or are we chasing the ghost? Let's don't waste our time. Let's do something that's going to benefit the port and the people. If it's not, move on.
Well, not selling any property is not gonna benefit the Port Oak people.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we table this, for, a period of time, and the next meeting, I guess, so that we can not only look closer at some of these terms that are in the agreement, including A, and the term that Pierre pointed out, but also to determine what the use of the funds will be and what our need is. With that motion.
You made a motion, I'll second.
Any further discussion? John, I'd like to, motion been made and seconded to, hold this another month. And so we can look into it.
John, you have a comment?
Hold on. Do you,
No, we don't want to.
Okay, all right. I do have a question. Now, we can sell, we don't have to sell 1, 2, or 3. We can just sell one parcel. Is that correct?
Well, I guess we could sell one.
I mean, if we sold, we could just sell one.
1, 2, or 3.
No, I'm saying that out of, which one has the most? I'll say 3. 3 has several lots. But we can sell one of those lots out of 3. We don't have to sell the whole.
Well, if we sell that piece of property, I think we sell all 3 of those, the whole piece of property and develop those 3 parcels.
Okay, well, I need clarification on
So
that.
that's 103, 600. It's almost $1 million up there.
So looking at it, right now, there's currently 3 parcels. And so what we're going to do is go and split them into the parcel A, B, C, parcel A, on A, is split into, 3 parcels. And then, again, I was good, I think correct, so that I understand what Mr. Nelson was saying. We're looking at it right now, 1 parcel. So, okay, 3 separate parcels of land. But when you turn around and split these out, I mean, you're also, what, $900,000 for parcel A. And so that's the one that we list, that is split. So that's where, so it's down to 50 lot size.
So you're just saying sell one parcel.
Right now, we're about 3 parcels.
Yeah.
And so you would sell one parcel.
Okay.
Chairman, Steve is the one that Blue House.
I'm sorry?
Steve, the one that you got on your parcel C, is that the one that we gathered and
Yes.
listened to?
Yes, that's the one that Blue House.
That's what I'm talking about, 1 parcel. He said it was 250 foot. lot.
Yeah, that's what it said.
Okay,
We got 3 parcels, but he can divide like 1 parcel into 3 lots.
and he valued, a broker opinion value of those 250 foot lots at $750,000. That's the reason I gave you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, that's right.
my question is, could we sell one? We can sell lot 1 out of parcel A, just sell the one?
No, I don't want to do that.
I'm just saying, can we?
No.
There's no way. Okay,
Why would we want to?
I don't know. I'm asking. I'm just
We're
asking.
gonna sell a parcel and then develop that into whatever lots and then develop.
I just clarification.
But with that amount of money, I think we'd be all right for a while.
I think that John made it very plain that parcel C, the way that those lots are set, if you combine them, then you can put a very nice home in there and it would give him some operating. He explained that they had pictures there and it was.
Parcel C is probably not the one we're gonna look at to want to sell. I think parcel A would be the best choice for now. So we've got a motion on the floor.
Sure, if I did, I just want to bring you back to the motion to table the listing agreement. And I, based on some good comments from here, I just want to clarify. I did not put this on the agenda for your approval or my recommendation that you approve.
Right.
There are things in this listing agreement that I do not recommend, that I do not like, for lack of a better term. I put this before you because there's been a lot of discussion about this at various meetings. Some that I have been at because they were out on site, and some back and forth. So the purpose of putting the listing agreement on the agenda is for you all to discuss, to review, your comments from Pierre and I and fellow commissioners. It was not placed with a recommendation
I just want to make sure
Okay,
that's clear, my position is clear, this thing needs some work. But I haven't received any direct feedback from commissioners on the agreement, so.
all right, so the motion is to, table this 1 month and then come up with recommendations on what we want to do and how the money might be used.
Yes, Chairman. And up to that point, I did raise in Exhibit A, and I know it might have just gotten this, but, paragraph 1, the unanimous written consent that, I think Patrick had requested to be removed so that any offer was come before the board. The unanimous written consent is say, we will approve any offer that's between the pro forma price and the, I'm looking at the language, sorry. So he's saying, he's requesting a unanimous written consent of offers that are between the pro forma price and the list price, with a closing to occur no later than 60 days. So that indicates that it would not come back to the board for approval, that we would get that in advance, so that if an offer came in, and it doesn't include leaving the property on the market for a period of time, so we would get multiple offers. If an offer were to come in, say, like immediately after we listed, we would have to, it would just be sold. We wouldn't have the opportunity to keep it on the market to see if there's other offers coming in. So I would suggest that we.
All right, that's something we can discuss with Patrick for next month, let him look at it, bring it in, suggest whatever changes we want to make. Come back next month and we'll, yeah, you got a comment? Okay, it's open. All right, any further comments? Nothing much. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. All right,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
so, Commissioner, brought up that there's safety issues before, that they're not being addressed because of funding issues that the contract does call for 50,000, for the first 50,000 to be paid by the operator, and anything above that is coming from the board. That's not necessarily the case. Obviously, the port operator is responsible for maintaining the port.
Yes.
If there are safety issues that are not being addressed, the port operator needs to address it. We're irregardless of money. So it's not about selling this property to pay and maintain port.
I agree.
The operator is responsible for that. As I said, yes, the mechanism does call for the first 15,000 to be funded by the operator, and everything above that by the port authority. But if the port authority doesn't have those funds, the operator is still responsible for maintaining the port. So again, if there's no money for the port authority to do that, we acquired $5 million of cranes. The port operator is only responsible for the first 15,000 of that. We put in 2.5 million. Where did that money come from? From the port operator, right? Because they wanted the crane. So just to be clear, again, if there are safety issues that are not being addressed, it's not, the reason it should not be because of lack of money, because the port authority can't pay for it. If there's safety issues, if there's liabilities out there, they need to be addressed by the port operator.
So,
Obviously, they can have the money in the capital account if they want, right? That's the money in the capital account is available for them above the 15,000. Once that money runs out, they're still responsible for maintaining the port.
Well, I can tell you, you never worked.
well,
Because
that's the way it's supposed to work.
And called it, and I would like to defer that question to staff, since they're in the room. Why is the canopy on the rail dock still not repaired and inflated? When it rains, that concrete gets bad. Those hard rubber tires on those forklifts are like riding on ice. Are we going to wait till somebody gets hurt or even worse? We need to move forward with this. It's on my report again.
Pat, do you want to address that? Okay. So we need to list anything that you think needs to be done, and we'll present that to the operator. And
All the records here,
I know that,
but I can't.
do that, and we'll get it to them,
I mean,
Nothing else.
everybody like Front Street, everybody.
I know, we'll call Utah again and, let them know what the problem
I
is.
have no problem there, that I told you that, I would hit it up. They might not like it,
get it done.
Okay,
And I'd like to make a motion since we bring the safety issue, which is, we said is a main concern. I'd like to make a motion that the information that Mr. Nelson has given to us is provided to Patrick so that we can write a letter to the operator requesting attention to this matter.
I second that.
motion made and seconded to have Patrick write a letter with all the deficiencies that Ray has addressed and get a response. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. From your shoulders, man. All right,
Chairman,
yes,
sorry. Mr. Hillman wanted to comment, but he hung up. So
okay,
just for the record.
that might be a better thing. Okay. Commissioners' reports and comments. Anybody got a report? Ray, I know you do. Go ahead.
All right,
You want to have the microphone or can you talk loud?
no, everybody hear me? Yeah, I just want to make sure that this is things that we need to pay attention to. I did have a conversation with Steve Perry. They're still struggling getting the IT upgrade done because of the labor issues that they're running into. They do have the parts and they're piecing it together. He told me, he said, that he would keep you well informed of what's going on, that it is moving forward. And, right now, the, actual contractor that they, elected is, looking for some assistance to help him get this done.
But that's not our fault.
That's not our problem.
Right.
Not our problem. Everything else we said is status quo. It's all good. He's moving forward. Security, I did speak to the site supervisor. I would like to make us more aware that, the gate logs and truck logs that we normally would get copies of, hard copies, they're all transferring over to digital, which I think for us would be easier. They can locate it and then just email it to us if we need any information. So that's being done. Security did put me on alert that, there are 12 cameras down, that we need to, have some attention pointed in that direction, and I can get Patrick on what we need to, do in that area.
Commissioner Cole, you just turned the mic off.
Yes, it did, because it was,
The cameras are part of the FSP, and it's not up for discussion on whether they will or will not be fixed. There is a time limit that if they're out of service, that you have to notify the Coast Guard so that they're aware of it. I'll take that up with, Savage. Outside of that, security says, okay, everything is good with them. On the tugboat, as I updated, it is in Jacksonville with a 2-week lead time on the inspection. Hopefully we'll be able to get that done, get that tugboat back up there. On the container cranes, number 9 and number 10, they are in service. They're still working on some minor issues with the electronics on them, especially number 9, number 10 seems to be straightened out. The mobile harbor crane, which is the blue one, they have had to replace quite a bit of the hydraulic hosing on that. I talked to the maintenance manager and they were proceeding on that, and he's going to try to get that accomplished hopefully by the end of the year. The OPA trucks, which is 619 through 624, his report is that all are operational and there's no issues with it. Warehouse number 3, roof patching. Patches on packing. Roof panels need to be replaced. No action taken at this time. That's a redundancy that's in that report every month. The rail dock cannon. No action taken at this time. I have marked in my report that it is a safety issue. Especially with the rain we got coming tonight, tomorrow. If anybody's out there unloading rail cars, anything is subject to happen. So I'll make sure that Patrick gets the information on that. Outside of that, nothing else has changed.
All right, you make sure you get that information packet, also, we can include some of that in the letter.
Type it all up.
I know Matt can address some of that stuff, and just, that's not his line of responsibility, but, we need to get that information over there and, get something done about it, so we'll do that.
Let me just say here, I thank you for giving me that information.
Yes,
That's not a long fight.
yeah. Okay, any other commissioner got a report?
Yes, Chairman.
Go ahead. Microphone.
A few meetings past, we discussed, or I brought up having a community advisory board record at our meetings, and I think that there was some support for that, but I wanted to sort of follow up on that idea and make it a bit more for your consideration. I think that we should have an advisory board where each of the commissioners could nominate a member. And that advisory board, they could have members from other sides of the county, because oftentimes what we hear is generally the local, impact of the board. And I don't think we hear enough from the logging families that live on the west side, folks that live out in Crawford Diamond in that area. I think, and it doesn't necessarily need to be a residential place. It might be someone that we know in a community that serves on the board that we would like to engage more with, a vote. So I would like to propose that we, at the next meeting, bring forward nominations for an advisory board. And that advisory board would, meet as needed. We wouldn't have to meet every month. And they could report to the board as needed. They wouldn't have to report at every meeting. We could determine what their charter would be. So I'd like to raise that for consideration at the next meeting. And I will come up with a form of charter to attach to that agenda. But I just wanted to hear your feedback on that concept.
Just let us know exactly what their responsibilities would be, what they would be reporting on, what they would be advising about,
Mr.
especially
Chairman,
on the west side of the county.
when we were unloading the finished oats, I employed trucks from the west side of the county to come over, and those guys were very appreciative. That was money that they were paid at a very appropriate time.
Absolutely.
It was hard times for them. And, the court has always reached out and wanted, our philosophy was give it to the locals first. We can't get the locals, then we'll go to Tampa and bring them up to Tampa. It worked out well for us. So I think anytime that we can put the word out there, hey, you want to be, a partner with us, see what we can do.
We'll come up with those qualifications and whatever you think needs to be in it, or try to get it out to us before the meeting begins.
Well, I think it would be simple. I think if they would need to be a resident of Nassau County and have an interest, we can articulate an interest in the board or something to contribute, a willingness to serve. It's not a paid position, and each, it could be a 10-member board, right? And then they have 4 or 5. This is the way the employee advisory boards work. It's a volunteer basis. So it's really just to allow the community to participate in local government and to have a way to organize collectively the community sentiment across the county as to what OVA should be focused on.
I think a 10-member board would be awful, would push it a lot. Organized board for us for years, doing certain things that to get 10 people to move together is almost impossible. I would say narrow that down, have a good representative maybe from the west side, not over here, maybe 3, no more than 5, I would think, across the county. So that's just mine, because I know how hard it is to get boards to meet together to talk about.
I think 5 is probably usually better.
Yeah.
Number. I think it's a great idea. I
I
You
think,
got 5 districts.
Yeah, I think it's been upcoming the next meeting with nominations, I think, and Mr. Hill put together kind of a, like you mentioned, like charter, you know, so that we can then take that back to potential individuals who we may want to nominate, so they have a better understanding of really what they're doing, other than, hey, come and hang out on Wednesdays or whatever the case is.
Yeah, no, that's, I can do that. And, so we're looking at 5 members, any alternates? Because I know like with the city planning, we're going to have alternates.
I don't know if you need to do names right now. Let's get the.
I'm just trying to come up with what this chart would say,
Down.
and each commissioner would nominate with the board, and we would all vote on that list.
To do that.
Okay.
Patrick.
I just, if it's an advisory board, you don't need to worry about the form, because they're not voting, they're
Yeah.
not taking official action.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind, wouldn't matter if you 5 and 3 to show up, not a big deal.
All right.
Okay, yeah, so I
Right.
think just to give you a preview, so I can kind of do that now. So it's gonna be, the interest of is like, how can Oakland better serve the community? Think of it county. That would be a very simple purpose. Okay, so I'll prepare that
Okay,
2 lines. each.
very good.
Thank you.
Any other commissioner report? Have a report TPO?
We'll have a meeting in the morning,
Mark,
1 o'clock.
did you want to meet last month?
We did not.
Commissioner Holmes, at the last TPO meeting, I know David, you were there. There was discussion of the Clean Fuels Initiative.
Mhm.
And I actually spoke with Marcy Larson after that meeting about that initiative and listened into their webinar regarding clean fuels. And I just wanted to raise for the board, because I know we all talk with different folks. We have friends on the school board and friends on the county development board, but every fleet within the county would potentially qualify for these clean fuels initiative grants. And they are very generous, and it's not just EV. So although we don't have a fleet, we have, we should be thinking about the port. We should also be thinking about bringing that information to other parts of the county, other boards that do have the ability to take advantage of that fleet. And it's again, it's not just electrification, it might be LP conversion or liquefied natural gas that can save a lot in terms of maintenance and upkeep. So it's called the Clean Fuels Initiative, and it's on the TPO website. But I just encourage you to put that out there, because we haven't really seen that much.
We actually had a meeting I did with the operator and TPO
Right.
and their consultant, Morris Nation, who managed that effort for them. And there was interest on the operator's part to pursue that, and then they went through their own transition with Butch Williams. So I had it on my list of things before they entail about to see if they're still interested in that program or not. But there were certain aspects of their operation that they felt like they could really benefit from that program.
Matt, would you be able to update us on that next meeting?
I can.
Awesome.
All right, anyone else? Administrative Office Manager report.
My report is included in the meeting packet. Any
All right.
questions?
Anything else coming before the board?
I do have a question, so,
Yes.
sorry. Everybody's saying next meeting, so is it October 25th or November? And reminder, November meeting, we elect new officers.
I think October 25th.
Okay.
We still got a lot of things going on. Okay, anything else? We need adjourned.